Most people think that the secret to building wealth is making more money, but here's what I discovered after analyzing my own financial journey. The real secret is what you're doing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. These 4 hours, what I call the wealth window, can literally determine whether you stay where you are right now or build the life that you actually want. Today, I'm sharing these 7 specific things that I did during my after work hours that helped me grow my net worth to 7 figures. And if you stick around to number 7, I'm going to show you the one evening habit that has been generating consistent income while I sleep. What's up, everybody? I'm Rashida, and I help people to make smart money moves. I started my wealth building journey at the age of 17, and I've grown my portfolio to those 7 figures, but I did it all on a police officer's salary. So I know that you can get there too, and I'm here to show you the way. So let's go. Look, I get it. You finish work at 5 p.m. You are mentally drained. You may be physically exhausted, and all you want to do is collapse on that couch with some Netflix and some takeout. Trust me, I know, because I've been there myself. But here's what changed everything for me. I realized that while everyone else was using 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. to decompress and scroll through their phones, I could use those same hours after work to compress my timeline to financial freedom. Just think about it. Those hours are 20 hours a week and over 1,000 hours per year. What if I told you that those 1,000 hours could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for your future self? That is real financial peace. Having your money work for you instead of you always having to work for your money. The first thing I did was completely flip my mindset about the evening time. See, most people think that the hours of 9 to 5 is their real work, but I started thinking of 5 to 9 as my wealth building work. Your day job may pay your bills, but your evening work is what can build your future. And so I literally started to schedule my evenings like I scheduled my workday. And instead of just seeing what happens, I had specific goals for those 4 hours. And so some nights it was just educating myself about investing or setting up my accounts. And other nights it was just working on my side business, but it was never just random scrolling on my phone or mindless TV. This is about being smarter with your time, guys. Now, here's what most people don't realize. You can't really go from work mode exhaustion into productive wealth building mode. You have to have what I call the money reset ritual, all right? And so for me, it could be something like taking a simple 10 or 15 minute walk around the block, or it could be just having a little horseplay session with my daughter. The point is, it's no phones, no podcasts, just walking and mentally shifting from employee mindset to wealth builder mindset. And so this simple habit helped me to transition between thinking about my day job to thinking about my financial goals. The key is to find something that works for your energy type. And so if you're mentally drained, you should probably be doing something more physical. And if you're physically tired or drained, you need to be doing something that engages your mind. And so instead of just watching Netflix all night, I started treating my evenings like my personal finance MBA program. I'm talking about reading books on personal finance, watching educational resources on the topic of investing, or just listening to money podcasts while I'm cooking dinner or doing the dishes. But here's the key. I focused on education that had immediate application. And so I wasn't just learning for the sake of learning, okay? I was learning skills that would directly impact my income or my investment returns. And this type of education can literally pay for itself in months. Because remember, nobody taught me this stuff growing up. I studied it in college, but before that, nothing in school would help me to become a money manager. I didn't delve deep into any of these topics until I went to college and studied finance. And even with that education, I still had to learn so many things outside of the formal education system. I had to make expensive mistakes. I had to lose money that I couldn't afford to lose when I was younger. But you don't have to go through what I did. And speaking of investing education, if you are serious about building wealth, you need to be investing your money with the right tools. And most investing apps are designed for beginners, but they never help you to grow beyond that. And so this video is sponsored by Moomoo. And guys, this platform is a complete game changer for anyone ready to level up their investing game. Moomoo is a commission-free investing app. But what makes it different is that you get access to professional grade tools and premium research that Wall Street pros pay hundreds for, completely free. This is like having a financial advisor's toolkit in your pocket. Okay, and this is the first thing I love. While you're deciding on your next investment move, your cash isn't just sitting there doing nothing. Your cash is earning 8.1% APY for the first 3 months, and it's FDIC insured. Most apps are giving you a fraction of this or no interest on your uninvested cash. And the second thing is you get premium news from the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and Reuters. Plus, you get access to Morningstar reports that normally cost $35 a month. This is the same research that the wealthy use to make their smart money moves. And here is what really got my attention. You can track what Warren Buffett and other notable investors are buying and selling. Plus, you get advanced charting tools that can cost you thousands on other platforms. Join the 26 million users on Moomoo and click the link in the description to jumpstart your investing journey today with up to 60 free stocks when making a qualified deposit. Moomoo is also giving new users 8.1% APY interest on your uninvested cash while you plan your first investment. Plus, if you're already a trader and you want to graduate to a more sophisticated platform, transfer your portfolio to Moomoo and earn cash rewards. So go to start.moomoo.com/Rashida Herbers or click on the link in the description to take advantage of these awesome promos and experience the power of Moomoo. All right, now let's get back to our video. Now, the fourth thing that I did, and this is where the magic happens, while most people were unwinding, I was busy building my financial education. I would use my evening hours to do things like research and set up my different accounts that I had learned would actually create wealth. So doing things like setting up the best checking account that I could find, high yield savings, figuring out my 401k investment strategy, where I wanted my contributions to go. All of those things I determined during the time I was spending after work, okay? And if you need any sort of guidance or recommendations on how to find these accounts for yourself, check the links in the description below. Now, the beauty of using your evening hours to do things like this, like account setup or figuring out how you want to do your budget, is that you're not rushed, okay? This is the time that you usually have to yourself, so take advantage of it and do something that's actually going to be constructive to your future, okay? You don't want to wait on the weekend when you're looking to get out the house and have fun, or you're having to do your chores, or you're trying to squeeze it in at work when you know you got a million other things going on. The hours in the evening after work is the perfect time to do the proper planning and execution of your financial plans. And so even outside of just figuring out your grand plan, you can really drill down on some of the details, like finding the best options, comparing interest rates, and most importantly, this is the time when you can set up your automatic transfers so that your entire wealth building process is on autopilot, okay? I know for me personally, these few hours of setup time have been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to my portfolio. Now, piggybacking on that, let's talk about the fifth thing that I did. One of the biggest time wasters in personal finance is to be constantly making decisions about money. And so I made sure I used my evening hours to set up systems that, once again, would run on autopilot. That way I won't have to worry about it week in, week out, month in, month out. It's already set and it's running in the background. I remember spending several evenings researching high yield savings accounts, who's going to have the best rates, and more importantly, who's going to have all of the benefits, technology, and options that I value, okay? And so if you're someone that is still leaving all of your cash savings in a big bank like a Chase or Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you're leaving serious money on the table. You need to be doing research on high yield savings accounts, okay? Another thing that I did was I set up automatic bill payment, okay? I remember spending many other evenings optimizing my investment contributions, all right? So that would include my workplace retirement accounts, my private retirement accounts, and any taxable accounts that I have set up for myself. And the evening hours are also a great time to go ahead and set up your bill payment automation, okay? If you are still manually paying your bills every single month to all of your different service providers, you're wasting time doing that, okay? You cannot get time back, so you want to make sure all of that is optimized. Also, it's going to help you with your budgeting, okay? Because if you can go ahead and set up all of your necessities on auto payments and autopilot, then you know exactly how much you're working with to invest or to spend on the fun things in life, okay? The things that you have targeted for enjoyment. Devoting your evening hours to executing these automation plans is going to save you hundreds of hours over the years, and it's going to make sure that you don't miss an opportunity to grow wealth for yourself, because you're going to be much more organized and your execution is going to be done week in, week out. You don't have to make a decision on execution. It's going to be done automatically. Now, the sixth thing that I use my evening hours for was the most important one, because this one completely changed my perspective on building wealth. Over time, I came to the realization that money is really just a byproduct of the value that you create for other people. And so I started using my evening hours to ask myself, how can I help others to achieve their financial goals? And this mindset shift was so huge for me. It has changed my life. And so instead of just thinking about what I could get, I started thinking about what I could give. And so whether it was sharing financial knowledge with my friends and family, or helping people to understand investing, or teaching money management strategies, I focused on genuinely helping others succeed. And here is the most beautiful part about this, you guys. When you consistently start to create value for others, that value comes back to you. And this is not just karma, okay? This is basic economics. The more problems that you solve for other people, the more people want to learn from you. And that becomes very marketable over time and very, very lucrative. All right, now that was the perfect segue to the most important one that I have going on right now in my life, because this one has been generating consistent income for me while helping thousands of people improve their financial situations. For the past 8 months, I've been using my evening hours to build this YouTube channel, and it has become the perfect example for everything that I just talked about. And so every evening when I get home, I'm either researching content, writing scripts, filming videos, or learning about YouTube strategy. And so while most people are just watching TV or scrolling mindlessly on their phone, I was busy creating content that would help people make better financial decisions and understand that they can build wealth on any income. But here's what made this journey so different from any other side hustle that I'd ever tried. I wasn't just trying to make money. In fact, when I first started, I wasn't making any money at all, but I was doing it because it was a passion project and I really enjoyed helping people. I was just genuinely focused on creating the most helpful personal finance content that I could. And so I spent hours just researching to make sure the advice that I was giving was accurate, that I could test those strategies myself before recommending them, and that I was always putting my audience's financial well-being first. And the result has been phenomenal, all right? This channel has become a consistent income stream that grows even when I'm sleeping. But more importantly, I know that I've helped thousands of people improve their financial situation. I've helped people set up their wealth building accounts and to start their own journeys to 7 figures. And so you can't even put a price on something that feels that rewarding. And to get the positive feedback that I get, that is food for the soul. And so that is an example of the power of using your evening hours to create real value. And now I know that some of you guys are probably thinking, Rashida, it sounds like you never relax. And it may seem like that, but honestly, my definition of relaxation has changed over the years. Because here's the thing, I found that as I was working toward my financial goals, that was way more relaxing than mindlessly scrolling on social media or just watching TV. There is something deeply satisfying about knowing that every evening you're building something that will benefit your future self. And to me, that type of peace of mind is worth more than any Netflix series. This is all about creating options for your future self and to be able to say yes to opportunities without having to check your bank account first. Look, Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you need to do all 7 of these things every single evening. But if you can commit to just 1 or 2 of these strategies during your 5 to 9 window, you'll be amazed at how your financial situation will start to change. Remember, everyone has the same 24 hours, but wealthy people are using their evening hours differently. They are taking the steps and the time to invest in themselves, to build assets, and to create systems while others are just consuming content. And so the choice is yours. You can use those evening hours of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. to escape your current reality, or you can use it to build the reality that you actually want. So tell me down in the comments section which strategy that you are going to give a try. You know I want to know. I read all the comments, and you know I'm going to be there cheering you on. And if you already know that you're going to take action with at least one of these strategies this week, type the number 1 down in the comment section. Now, if you found this video valuable, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and share this video with 3 friends you know need to hear this message. I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, I'm Rashida, and I'm out.